What's going on, guys? It's Untold. Welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be getting absolutely way too fucking high and having to do my school's history fair. So yeah, it's going to be a fun one, guys. If you enjoy the content, if you want more of these videos, if you just have anything interesting to let me know about, just anything in the comment section, just put it down below. Give you some constructive criticism, some suggestions, some recommendations, whatever you got. Leave a like on the video, subscribe if you enjoy the stuff, and yeah, let's get this video on the road. So this story takes place during my junior year of high school, and it's important to note that for the vast majority of my YouTube videos that I'm going to be uploading that take place during my high school sort of era, the vast majority of them are going to be during my junior year because prior to junior year, I didn't really smoke or do anything. And after most of these stories took place, that's when COVID happened and everything turned online, including my entire senior year of high school. So let me give you guys a little bit of backstory on what the history fair actually was and why we even had one. The history fair, think of it sort of as like a science fair, but for like history and historical projects, like projects about like historical events and all that kind of stuff. And there was multiple different types of projects you could submit. You could do like a video, you could do like a poster board, you could do an essay, you can do whatever you wanted. And the history fair was where you went to like present your work right like after you finished the project. We only really had this in our high school because I went to a history related high school. I'm just gonna put it at that. If I said the name of the high school, obviously you know exactly where I'm fucking at. But the high school just it was like a history based high school where we took an extra a semester of history classes, and a lot of the stuff was like based on history. We had like historical field trips to like Philadelphia and like stuff like that. So we did a lot of history related stuff and history related bullshit in this high school. But it's also important to mention that if you did an essay for the history fair, you didn't actually have to go to the history fair. It was very optional. But if you had a video or a poster board, you had to attend the history fair. But everybody in the school had to do a project. Like it was a requirement. Like it was like a separate class grade. It was called like the history fair assignment, and it was like a separate class grade on your report card, and everybody had to do a project regardless of what type of project you did. You had to do one, and I picked the essay because although it was a 2,000 word essay, which is crazy and really fucking annoying to have to write. um I still decided to do an essay, but that did mean I didn't have to go to the history fair. And you might be wondering why I ended up going to this, and I'll tell you right now. So during my high school career, I was actually on this. I was part of this group called the tech team, and you might be wondering what the fuck that is. And the tech team essentially was this sort of club volunteer sort of thing where I would go around with this teacher, or just I'm on my own sometimes, and I would help fix the computers in the building. I would service them. I would help administrators with their like administration software. I would help them I would just help everybody with their computers, teachers, staff, students, everybody. I would help them with their computers and stuff. And I was on this tech team, and one of the jobs of this tech team for the history fair at least was to go and set up all these laptops in these different rooms, because for the videos and for the and like the websites and stuff for the project, we can do many different types of projects, but there were videos, you can do websites, essays, all that. But for the videos and for the websites, we had to set up laptops so people could come in and like view the sites and watch the videos. So the tech team at this point was literally me and this one other guy named Samin. So it was our job as the tech team to go to this history fair and set everything else up. So we start at the end of the school day. I actually end up going home and coming back to this because it was actually it was pretty late at night. It was I think it was like a 5 p.m. event, and school ended at like 2. So I didn't want to like sit around around the area by my school for like 3 hours. I didn't really know the area that well. There wasn't much shit to do that I knew of, so I decided just to head back home and then head back to the history fair later. So me and Samin and the teacher who ran the tech team, his name was Mr. Smith, we got all of our shit done, and we set everything up. Everything was top. Everything was in tip top shape. Everything was all set up perfectly, and it was our job essentially for the rest of the night. After we got everything else set up, we had our only responsibility was to really make sure everything like stayed working. So we would have to go around every now and then to different classrooms where like the smart board projector wasn't fucking working, and we had to go fix it, make sure the videos could be played, make sure like everything's fine and dandy. So essentially, once we had set everything else up, we had the entire night kind of free to ourselves just to explore the fair. And I took this freedom a little bit too far in this circumstance. So we're chilling in the gym where all the poster boards are set up, And I actually had nothing to do with the poster boards. Like that was just set up by the people who had their projects and everything. And I had nothing to do in there other than set up the little photography area. But that's besides the point. So me and Samin are just chilling in the gym, doing whatever the fuck, just shooting the shit, talking about random bullshit. And eventually, I start hitting up people on my phone who might be at the history fair. I'm like, "Yo, you at the history fair? You want to hang out?" I hit up my boy Nick, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm down to fucking hang, and I'm at the history fair right now too." So we go and link up with him, and Nick is already with this other girl named Marta, and Marta has her boyfriend there, and her boyfriend. This is important. So her boyfriend has this cart on him, and we're like, "Yeah, we should go smoke." So we all like hop out of the building. We just dip out of the building temporarily. I tell Mr. Smith we'll be right back. We're going to the store or some shit. We go outside and we start chiefing this cart. Me, Nick, Marta, and Marta's boyfriend. We start smacking this cart, and I have no clue who Marta's boyfriend is. This is the most awkward fucking situation. I got no clue who Marta's boyfriend is. Like he goes to some different fucking school. I've never met this guy in my life. I knew who Marta was. I was on a very like kind of superficial sort of friendship with her, but her boyfriend, on the other hand, I had absolutely no clue who this guy was, and I was smoking his weed for free, not paying him shit. So it was pretty, not sort of, it was pretty fucking awkward just sitting there with this guy. But I ended up getting nice and fucking high, and we go back into the building right after that. So we go back inside, and me and Nick decide that we're gonna split up from Marta and her boyfriend. So like we're like, thank you for the weed, guys, but we're gonna head out and do our own fucking thing. So we're back in the building. We go and link up with Samin again, and it's important to note Samin didn't actually go out and smoke with us. He didn't smoke or anything. He was that just wasn't who he was. He just didn't smoke. It wasn't him. So we go back in the building. We link up with Samin. He's just chilling there the whole time. And we're just talking, doing whatever, and we start just walking around the school, and this place is packed. We got like parents up in this bitch. We got like everybody here, like hell students. Because keep in mind, everybody had to do a project, and the only way you could get out of this was if you did an essay. And the vast majority of people did not want to type out a 2,000 word essay. So there was a lot of people there who just sucked it up and had to go to the history fair because they did a different type of project. But we're walking around. People are deep in this motherfucker. There's hella people here, and it's kind of making me paranoid. Like I'm starting to like look around, and I'm getting kind of twonked out. I'm like, holy shit, there's a lot of people here. But we're just walking around the hallways, and then Mr. Smith, of all people, we're pretty close. We're pretty chill with this guy, obviously, because he's the tech team teacher. Like I've known this guy for like 3 years now. Like yeah, this is my third year knowing this guy, and he was a really nice teacher, just a really awesome guy. But he didn't know I smoked weed or anything like that, obviously, because he's a teacher. I'm not gonna tell him that, and he never found out actually, unless he knew from this experience, which we'll get to. But where Mr. Smith of all people shows us to this fucking room, and it's just this empty fucking room, empty classroom, but there's a pizza in the middle, and he's like, "Yeah, this is the staff room for tonight. There's a pizza here. Do you want it?" And we're like, "Oh shit." And me and Nick look at each other, and we just like his eyes are red as shit. Mine are probably red as shit too. He looks at my eyes, looks me dead in the fucking eyes, and just starts smiling. And I look at him back, and I start smiling too. And we both know that we're just high as fuck, and we're just enjoying the moment. We just found out we got pizza for free. We're sitting there living fucking life, and it's fucking incredible. So we are downing this pizza, and eventually, once we finish the pizza, the plates that we're on, we realized we could fold them and start throwing them around. So we start folding them and like making like sort of paper airplanes out of them, and like even at one point just throwing them like fucking frisbees around the room trying to catch them. And we're doing all this dumb shit in the room, just vibing out for like 30 minutes. And meanwhile, there's like people like wondering where we are because there's some shit breaking like in the other room, and we're just nowhere to be found. We're all just fucking around doing nothing. Eventually, Mr. Smith has to come into the room and like tell us to come like do some shit. Yeah, but eventually we dip out of that room with the pizza in it, and we start just walking around the school again. We end up having to go do some shit and fix some bullshit in some room somewhere. I don't fucking remember. This was so long ago. But we end up dipping out, and we're walking through the hallway. And because I'm on the tech team, this is important to mention. Because I'm on the tech team, I get to cut class a lot, or I got to cut class a shit ton. And it was never actually cutting. Like I would cut sometimes, like actually cut unrelated to the tech team. But when you're on the tech team, and especially because all the teachers trusted me. So I would just say to my teacher in class, like, "Yeah, I just got called down to do some work for the tech team. Like, I'm gonna have to leave," and she would mark me present. The teacher, like the teacher, every time would just mark you present if you told me to go do stuff for the tech team. So that would be a way I get out of class. I would just say I have to do tech team work and just leave class. So that's very important to mention. I used to do that a lot for this gym class because I hated going to gym class. I would just sit there doing jack shit on my phone the whole time. It was the most boring fucking class ever. So I would just sit there on my phone the entire time. So whenever I got the chance to cut this class with the tech team bullshit, I would cut this class. And the teachers were not happy about it because they would always mark me present, but I feel like it was like egging on their conscience a little bit, or like it was just getting on their conscience a little bit, and they did not like it. So we're walking through this hallway at the history fair, and I see this, and we're pushing around this cart. Like we're pushing around this not this granny cart, but we're pushing around this like flat top like table cart, and we got a bunch of like tech shit on it that we're bringing to a different room. And we're walking past this gym teacher. Name is Mr. Silver. And Mr. Silver comes up to me, and we're walking by, and he stops me in the hallway, and he's like, "Dude, you guys start coming back to gym class. Like, you're missing all these classes. I'm gonna have to start failing you." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" And I'm like, still high as fuck, so I'm like paranoid by this. I'm like, I just try. I don't make any direct contact with this guy. I avoid all eye contact with him. I just nod my head and keep fucking moving, and I am just like not looking at him, looking at the fucking floor, moving this cart. He's trying to talk to me, have a conversation. I'm just ignoring him. I'm just walking forward, trying to get out of the situation as fast as possible. And I end up doing that just fine. I get out of that situation. And right after that, I don't remember much more after that. Except for when the history fair ended, I was still very high. I was walking back to the subway station with Samin. And we get to the subway station, and right by the subway station, there's a Dunkin' Donuts. And I got a little bit of money on me, like $10 or something. So I go to this Dunkin' Donuts, and I go in there and order the frozen chocolate, which is essentially just like a chocolate. It's essentially just like a chocolate icy. I wouldn't even call it a milkshake because it's like ice and like shit, and it's not like milk and ice cream. It's like ice and like some kind of chocolate base they put in there. But it's supposed to be sort of like a hot or like a cold hot chocolate, if that makes sense, like a frozen hot chocolate. That's actually the name of it? I think it's a frozen hot chocolate. But I go in there, I order this thing, I grab it, and I'm walking back to the subway with Samin. It's like a very short walk to the subway station from the Dunkin' Donuts. And I'm holding this fucking drink, and I'm sipping on it. It's fucking fire as hell. And I look over to Samin, and I say perhaps the greatest line that has ever come out of my mouth ever. I look over to this guy, and I say, "Dude, it's like hot chocolate, but cold." And Samin just starts dying of laughter, and I don't know why. In my brain, it sounded like a perfectly coherent, like, normal sentence. And he's looking at me, and he's like, "You're high as shit." And I'm sitting there, and I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, "Oh my god, yeah." But yeah, I ended up just going home after that and passing out like a fucking baby, dude. I sleep so well when I'm high. It's one of the main reasons I smoke, honestly, is because it helps me sleep so fucking much. My sleep schedule is always fucked up when I'm not smoking, but when I do smoke, my sleep schedule is great. Like I go to bed at fucking 10 p.m., wake up fucking refreshed at 8 in the morning. Like I never get weed hangovers or anything. So yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this other video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll see you guys for the next one. If you guys really enjoyed that, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, do whatever. And yeah, I'll see you guys for the next one.